I'm always impressed with athletes that can do it all. Uh, Michael Jordan, but there comes a time when there's someone that excels in, but not just one sport, but multiple. And that is the iconic Deion Sanders. And to date, I got these babies. Let's talk about them. So the Air DT Max 96 Diamond Turf, more commonly known, these are iconic for one main reason: the athlete behind the shoe. Deion Sanders, of course, he played football with quite a few NFL teams. He really excelled back in the 90s, and he was in all definitions of the word a super athlete because he also excelled playing baseball. But these shoes were iconic in themselves because just look at them. These shoes also were kind of teased during this NBA season, more famously by LeBron James, donning a LeBron 21 in this exact same colorway. It was a PE, and everybody went crazy for them, myself included. But this shoe, don't get it confused. This is not a basketball shoe. This is a turf shoe. This is a training shoe. Deion Sanders famously wore this shoe when teams in the NFL, certain teams, were starting to kind of transition to turf. These, especially for the midsole, were kind of like a all-terrain sort of shoe. Shoes that you can actually wear on turf and still train and get at least some traction in there. So that's kind of like where the whole Diamond Turf name comes from. But just even then, they're just very, very iconic because of this sort of, I don't even want to call it like zebra-like, because they look to me like it's like a tiger kind of just ripped through this shoe, and that's just something I like a lot about this shoe, is that design. In general, I like shoes with Air Max soles in them, Air Max heels in them. I just think they're like, especially with the exposed air sole unit, they just really give me a lot of 90s vibes, and that's the main reason also why I love the Charles Barkley's, because they are reminiscent of this same sort of style, kind of boot-like, but with the Air Max unit in them, and kind of like, they just look really, really rugged and really supportive. And they are kind of supportive, not gonna lie. They're a little bit wider than the Air Max CVs, Charles Barkley's. I'll give you that, mainly because this one doesn't have an inner booty here inside the shoe. This one is more of a traditional sort of fit inside the shoe. The tongue, however, is this sort of it's not polyurethane. I always forget the name of this specific material. It's a very stretchy material. I just really dig them, really like them. The tongue is always going to be a huge factor whether I like a shoe or not. The cheaper the tongue, the less I like it. But in this specific instance, it's this really breathable material that I really, really do like, and it's very, very stretchy. I also do like the logo on the tongue. It's, like I said, Deion Sanders, he was a multi-sport athlete. He excelled in football and American football and baseball. So his logo represents that. You can see the field goal in the top, and you see the base plate here in the bottom. Also on the top here, you do have this strap for more stability on the side. Again, I do want to emphasize the materials on this shoe are all synthetic. It is this sort of like Durabug, Nubuck material here in the black panels, and in the white panels is leather, but I can probably tell that this leather is faux leather, to be honest. And yeah, just I really dig the design that encompasses the whole shoe. You got the air tab in the back, and you got the Nike swoosh with this gold accents, and you can actually see some of the breathable material here in some of these cuts to the side. You of course have your exposed air unit here in the heel, which is amazing. I do like exposed heel units. I just always have. The midsole is very reminiscent, of course, as well of the Charles Barkley's, but these don't have kind of those dinosaur teeth to them, but they still are rather bulky, like much of the Air Maxes in the 90s were. One of the most important features on the shoe is the outsole. The outsole is very rigid. This has sort of like this section off I don't know what to call it. They kind of look like craters, like moon craters, all across the shoe. Kind of gives it traction and makes it so at least there's some sort of support there in the outsole. And then you also have in the exposed heel unit, you can also see it here from the bottom, as you can see it in a lot of the old school Air Max units. I think you can also see them in the Air Pennies. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, you can see them in the Air Penny 2s at least, if I'm not mistaken. I have them over here, but I do have a broken thumb, so I can't move around a lot. I can't really grab things as easily. So you're just gonna have to, believe me in that sense. But in the exposed heel unit, you do have a portrait of Deion Sanders there in the bottom, which is just amazing. It looks great. I just love this shoe. Overall, the fit on these is rather comfortable. It is a little bit wider here at the forefoot than, for example, the Charles Barkley. But like I said, that probably has to do a lot with the inner booty. They do feel rather bulky. They are a really bulky shoe. But again, kind of reminiscent of football cleats, thick. You need all that protection, all that ankle support. And just making sure that you got that stability whenever you're running or doing these quick transitions from sprinting to jogging, whatever that may be. So this shoe is definitely perfect for that sort of sport, or at least for that training in turfed areas. Overall, I just had to cop this shoe, man. This is a beautiful shoe. It's iconic. Deion Sanders, just an amazing athlete through and through, especially, as someone from Texas, he did amazing things here with the Cowboys. So it's just amazing to finally have this in my collection. They were widely available. I didn't have any issues picking these up from sneakers or from the Nike app, actually. I don't think these dropped on sneakers, if I'm not mistaken. They just dropped on the Nike app store. But constantly I see restocks on these. I remember when they kind of teased these at first early in the year, and they only dropped a handful of these. I think it was over probably not even over 1,000 pairs. And people were really upset, myself included, when they dropped that little of a amount of shoes. So I'm glad they finally got a wide release, and I'm just happy to have this one in my collection. Signature shoes, specifically with Air Max technology in them, have to be some of my favorite shoes. I got the pennies, one of my most comfortable signature shoes to walk around every day. The Charles Barkley's really comfortable, kind of heavy again, boot-like, much like this one, but still it's a really comfortable walk in them. So whenever there is a signature Air Max shoe, it's something that I always have to cop. But yeah, overall, really dig this shoe. I'm sure they'll keep coming around. I'm just glad that Deion Sanders, kind of gave Nike his blessing. He kind of re-signed. There was a lot of drama surrounding that re-sign, because I'm not mistaken, Nike was releasing these without Deion Sanders' approval, which again, Nike kind of does own the designs, but I think that always having the backing of the actual athlete is always going to give a shoe more value to them, where they're going to be a little bit more respected. I mean, and it doesn't even have to be athletes. You see it with other signings that from other companies. Adidas, who kind of lost their main driver of sales in Kanye. So it's always, I feel brands always are going to appreciate having the backing of whoever designed that shoe, or whoever that shoe was designed for. So yeah, overall, dig this shoe, man. You gotta be from a certain era to really appreciate Air Max shoes, specifically these 90s signature sneakers. They're just really cool, man. A lot of memories rush back from this shoe, and I'm happy that they're in my collection. But folks, you let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Air DT Max 96s. But you let me know down in the comments below what you think. Were you able to cop these? Are you gonna cop these? What do you think of Nike signature sneakers back in the day? I kind of feel that nowadays a lot of the signature sneakers that Nike has been putting out, with few exceptions, for example, in my opinion, I think LeBron's are probably one of the best signature sneakers out right now. Sabrina's, of course, you can't go wrong with those, and I'm very interested to see what Devin Booker keeps doing with the book 2s, which I'm sure there's going to be book 2s, because book 1s, in my opinion, they were pretty successful from what I've seen online and from what I've seen people wear on court. So just very, very exciting. But yeah, overall, really do think 90s signature shoes are just something that you got to have in your collection just because they're so iconic, so unique, and it's probably something that we're not going to see any more in terms of original design. So always a good opportunity. The box does come in this kind of classic Air Max Nike box. They do remind me a lot of the box that Jordan 12s came in. That really classic, when, again, I'm sure it's because it has Air Max all across the shoe that Jordan 12s came in this specific box. But it's just very also like reminiscent of classic shoe boxes, and I really do like. And I always appreciate these boxes over the classic orange Nike boxes. I just do not like, and I'm not a fan of the orange Nike boxes. They're too basic, too boring, don't like them. So at least Deion is getting some respect in that regard. But let me know down in the comments below what you think of the Nike Air DT Max 96s. But folks, I've been True Fernie. This has been True Fernie. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you didn't like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down, because believe it or not, every single bit helps. Links to my socials are down below. Please make sure to follow me on Threads, where I spend most of my waking hours talking about gaming, talking about sneakers, talking about basketball, talking about sports in general, and where I spend most of my waking hours. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I upload more of the short form sneaker content and where your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. But folks, please take care of each other, but most importantly, take care of yourself, bro. Life is fragile, bro. I done busted up my ass riding my bicycle, and it was such a silly accident, man. I just fell off my bike. It is what it is. We're hanging in there, trying our best, but yeah, take care of yourself. Peace.